Is it on here? All right, you can all hear me? Welcome everybody to Livermore Rotary, January 11th, 2023. Who thought that'd be a lie? No, I'm just kidding. All right, everybody stand, please. Let's see. Susan Mayall, can I ask you to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Susan, could you come up here? So before we have a little bit about Chuck. You want to come up here, or do you want to use a mic? Huh? No, this is for Chuck. Okay.
Chuck Hartwig, as you probably know, has been pretty ill, and Chuck Hartwig, who's been pretty ill for the last several weeks, he's been put into a skilled nursing facility on Holmes, and it's called the Avalon home. It's right by the bridge that you go over, before you come into town. And anyway, he's getting better, or so Robert tells me. And he would welcome cards and possibly visitors too. At any rate, he wants to see people. He's obviously getting better. He's asked for newspapers for the first time, and he's devoted to the news. Okay, thank you.
Susan, do we send cards to his home or to that facility?
I'd send it to his home.
Send the cards to his home. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so how about Sheila, we could get the address and send it around, right? Joel, could we just send it around? And so if people want to come go visit Chuck, they'll know where to go. Great, thank you. All right. Songsters.
Okay. We tried to figure out what we're going to play the day before. So we tried to figure out who's speaking today, who's giving the presentation. Who is giving the presentation today? What? Do we know? Roland? Okay, well then we'll do Roland. Down the river. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Here we go.
Job in the city, working for the man every night and day, and I never lost 1 minute of sleep, worried about the way things might have been, and we'll keep on turning, proud Mary, keep on burning, rolling, rolling, rolling down the river. To Memphis, off the lot of take down to New Orleans, but I never saw the good side of the city till I hit the ride on a riverboat queen. It will keep on turning, proud Mary, keep on burning, rolling, rolling, rolling on the river. Here we go now.
Last verse.
So if you come down to the river, bet you're gonna find some people who live. You don't have to worry if you have no money. People on the river are happy to give. And they'll keep on burning. Proud Mary, keep on burning. Rolling, rolling, come on, rolling on the river. Rolling, rolling, rolling on the river.
don't know. I think we're our own best form of entertainment, aren't we?
All right. Hey, Roland,
Laugh at yourself. What the heck?
where are you? You have they actually gave you Will, come on up. They've given you a theme song. So you know that's going to cost you, right, buddy? So it's less painful if you decide what it'll be versus me deciding.
All right. Good afternoon, Rotarians. So I'm a sucker for an inspirational story. So this is not a whole lot to do with Rotary, but I just heard the story. I thought I'd share it with y'all. There was a 10-year-old boy who lost his left arm in a horrific automobile accident. So he decided he wanted to do judo. So he went ahead and he got a judo instructor, and the judo instructor agreed to teach him. And he was doing really well. But for several months, the judo instructor was only giving him one move to learn. And he said, shouldn't I be learning more moves? And the judo instructor said, don't worry about it, just do the one. He said, okay, you know better than I do. So a couple months later, he decides to go to a competition. He gets in the competition, and surprisingly, the first two matches, he wins easily. So he's now up against a harder opponent. And the harder opponent makes a mistake in the middle, and he wins that match too. So now he's in the finals. But in the finals, he's against a much stronger, much bigger, much more experienced person. And the boy is beating him badly. And the referee stops in the middle of the match and turns to his sensei and says, shouldn't we just stop the match? And he says, no, just go ahead. Let him finish. He'll be okay. Well, the stronger boy makes one little mistake, and the one-armed boy takes that and pins him. So he's won the championship, which is amazing. They're on the drive home, and the little boy finally turns to the sensei master and says, Master, and they're breaking down every match, what they did on every move. He says, Master, how did I possibly win? He says, well, you won for two reasons. Number one, that move that you learned is one of the most difficult ones to master, and you've come really close to mastering it. And number two, the only known way to combat that move is for the opponent to grab your left arm. So what was his biggest weakness became his strength. Thank you, Rotarians.
Great story, Will. Thank you very much. All right, the most important people in our club are our frontline folks. Do we have a volunteer for a spur reporter? I'm looking also on Zoom. Is there anybody willing? Okay. Our spur publisher is going to be Don, who's also photographer. You want everything else? Okay. All right. AV this week is Paul McAnlis. Thank you, Paul. Our Zoom host and chat monitor is Karen Siegfried. And our greeter today was Loretta Kasky. Thank you, Loretta. All right. Introduction. Do we have any visiting Rotarians? First, I'm gonna ask Carolyn on Zoom. Do we have any visiting Rotarians?
We do not have any visiting Rotarians. When we get back to guests, we do have a guest.
Okay, thanks, Carolyn. How about, do we have any visiting Rotarians in the room? Okay, so Carolyn, back to you. Please identify.
All right, our guest joining us, I think for at least the second time, is Kaylee Bennett, who is Mike Thompson's neighbor and is a guest of Mike. She needs to be off camera today, but welcome, Kaylee.
Thank you so very much for having me.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, now we're going to introduce our guests. We're not introducing the recipients. We'll do that, during the next half an hour or so. But any guests of Rotarians? Dennis, you got a mic, right? Got it.
President Splend and Rotarians. I'd like to introduce two guests. First is Ann Brown. Ann is, thank you, standing up. Ann was a speaker a couple of months ago, if you remember. She is kind of kicking the tires to see if she likes this club. And so I'd encourage you to greet her. She is, if I remember right, an educator and a advocate. And she's recently been asked to be outreach director for
Tri-Valley Air Quality Climate Alliance.
I didn't remember that. I'm sorry. I don't. And Ann is responsible for the recent rain. That's correct. Thank you, Ann. I also like to introduce Don Sweeney. Don is a engineer, originally mechanical engineer, but then turned software engineer, right? And Don and I worked together on Quest a bit. We worked on a CO2 instrument together. I did the printed circuit board and he made it work. And he too is kicking tires. So be nice to him too.
All right.
Thank you.
Welcome, Ann. Welcome, Don. Any other guests or Rotarians? Trex?
Hi, President.
I thought she was your guest. She's a recipient. Never mind.
Never mind. I was so excited to have another guest and now.
Did you have a guest?
So we're debating whether we're a guest or not. Is that what we're doing? Do we know that person? That person just walking off the street? I mean, JR in the back. Give JR a big hand.
Doing better?
All right. So let's next up, Paul. Okay. Announcements. So I have a couple announcements. One is, God, I forgot the darn, but if you remember a few months ago, the Morning Club has set up on, I believe it's the 31st of January, a breakfast. It's a tour of Las Positas College. And hardly anybody from our club has signed up. What I think I'll do is I'll send it to Joel. The flyer has a QR code for you to sign. It's $20. It says on there the club is going to pay for it or somehow whatever. Anyway, it's a tour from like 8:30 to 10, I believe. And the president of the college and other people take a tour. I mean, I don't know, maybe other people might know more about this than I do, but other than the flyer, but Philomena Rambo sent it to me and said that shamed me or shamed us that no one had, hardly anybody had signed up from our club. So we'll get, it's on the 31st of January and 8:30 to 10. And if you go to the Morning Club website, there is on their calendar, there's a link to sign up. But you just put in, there's a field and you put in your name and somehow you're signed up. Okay. There's something else I want to announce, but now, okay. So I came through on my bet. Okay. So I wore the onesie on the December 24th at Pete's. So those of you that have not paid up, Norm, can you shame the shit out of them? Please, let's call people. No, I'm just kidding. No. What?
When he sends the invoice, he needs to attach a picture of the onesie so
I
they
did
know.
send that picture to Joel, and I don't think it got circular, maybe to Paul, but I can't remember. But there's your proof right there. And the genesis of that story is I was visiting our third son in Florida, and he insisted that we go to Buc-ee's. Does anybody else know what a Buc-ee's is?
No.
So Buc-ee's is a huge gas station with like 75 pumps in the South. And I filled up the rental car and I was going to get in and move it to like, parking next to the, by the way, the store in there is, geez, like probably 50,000 square feet. That's a big, by the way, that's a really big space. And they have a counter from here to the wall of just beef jerky, all the kids died. So anyway, one of my sister-in-laws who has a 15-month-old grandson, she finds us a onesie like that. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. Cause the little emblems are Buc-ee's. So I find one in adult size. Anyway, so I got, anyway, that's the genesis. So time to collect, guys. I came through. Huh? Oh, that's a little mean, Norm.
I have a comment.
Says
Glenn.
Sonia.
I paid a lot of money to see you in that onesie at Pete's. And I wasn't aware that you showed up that day. I don't see one Rotarian in that picture. Do you think you could do a repeat performance?
So a repeat performance means more money.
Right.
Okay. I mean, come on,
Yes, exactly.
So there is another,
There-
wait a
no-
minute, there are other
no,
photos. There-
That you were there.
Wait a minute, I have the mic. There are other photos with my wife's running group who starts at Pete's every morning. So there are photos, they're there also. If you guys, I'm sorry.
Did you keep a receipt?
Oh, sorry. Well, they could come in and vouch for me. How's that? All right, let's move on.
I think we need the Dennis O'Brien camera or Zoom screen to unmute.
You've got it.
Okay. All right, let's go.
Thank you.
Hold your hands up.
Oh, you're donating. Yes. Now, I'll do the 100. You do 100. To whom do we write the check?
Oh, Rotarian Foundation of Livermore.
The foundation,
Yeah.
right there. The Rotarian Foundation, Livermore Rotarian Foundation. Okay.
Norm, let's go.
Okay. So TJ, how much? 250 for TJ. Paul McCannis, 250. Roland, 100. 100 from Sue, sorry. 100. And then Peter, 100. I'm sorry. 100. Oh, you're okay. Joel, 200. Over here, anybody else? Yeah.
Christian, 100.
McCann, yeah.
Susan for 100, Peter for 100, and Joel for 200.
Christian, 100.
Oh, Christian is 100 online.
Thank you, Christian.
And then did you,
Anybody? else?
Sonia, you've got her? Okay. Okay. And then Carol Howell, Carol, how much? 250 Carol Howell. And then Sonia's got the rest.
And for Brendan, if you could come to the club next week, so I need to have it in hand so we get it in.
Yes, Joel. To the Livermore Rotarian.
Rotarian Foundation of Livermore.
Yeah,
It's
the
right on the
Livermore
screen.
Rotarian Foundation. It's
Thank you, everybody.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. And next one. All right, so quick update. Yes. Yes, you can, and just make sure you write down in the memo some notes or give me the name, I'll follow it up. Thank you. Quick update on the Rotary Foundation fundraising. Annual fund, we are at 66%, doing good. And Polio Plus, we are at 37%. And the critical one is we like to get 100% every Rotarian every year. And we are at 48%. So I sent out letter to everyone who has not contributed this year. And I think by email, for the rest of them who have contributed, I'll be sending out thank you emails while I'm traveling to India. So I appreciate everybody's help and we're doing great. Thank you.
Okay. All right, one more. Mayor Marchand, you missed the photo. So John was going to be my witness, but he slept in that morning. So John is contributing $20. Thank you, John. If you want to go back to my photo, you can give it to Norm. Right here, John. Well, I texted you the photo, so you know. Right here. Thank you, John. But you were supposed to be my witness. Thank you, John. And by the way, welcome, Mayor Marchand. Thank you for showing up. Thank you very much, John. No, we did. We did a good job. Okay, let's move on, Paul. All right.
Okay, our next wine social is going to be Wednesday, January 25th. I encourage everybody to come. If you have a potential member, great. If you don't, please come anyway. It's a time for us to get to know each other, spend time together, and have fun. And the wine won't cost you a dime. So please join us.
yeah.
All right, thank you. Okay, Don, I think, who's and Debbie, or who's doing the crab feed?
Oh, Debbie's
Or
doing.
Bob doing, who's doing it?
I wasn't going to do all of it, but anyway. Crab feed, we're starting really now to promote it. And just so I don't forget, I was specifically requested, where did Marchand go? Oh, hi, to help us promote our crab feed. So I'll give you a flyer here. And so it's March 3rd. It'll be here. And we're starting to sell tickets now, tables of 8. We used to sell tables of 8, 9, or 10. These tables are much smaller, so we don't recommend going over 8 at a table. But I've got all the information here. I've got flyers. We need help promoting it. So if you have a business, a break room, or a business that you know of that would put this in their window, we would really appreciate your help. And Diana is doing raffle and that information.
We do have the forms now for donation, so if you could fill one out, if you've got something promised to us, we'd appreciate letting us know right away. We will be collecting up until about 2 weeks before the crab feed, but the sooner the better. Gift cards, wine, of course, golf, we already have some golf groups, passes anywhere. Pardon me? Would you? Gold bar, yeah, gold bars are accepted. So I hope you can help us out.
Great. Thank you, Diana. Thanks, Debbie. All right, our next week's program will be, well, it won't be Geraldine. I think she's ill or not available, but it's Chest of Hope.
Yeah, it'll be Jessica.
Jessica. Okay, thank you. Okay, I don't know, Roland, if you want to make your way up here. So Roland, this is the big, oh, by the way, all you recipients here, you guys are all, I know you all love crab, right? Maybe get together, talk amongst yourselves, put a table together, come to our crab feed. It's a much younger crowd.
Oh, man. Yes, sir. Yeah, we do.
Thank you.
Okay. Hey, just Melissa could not be here. She walked with people with COVID. So said, Roland, can you please say a huge thank you? But first and foremost to her teachers, the outstanding people that make this whole environment, the city thrive for our kids. So that was number one. Number two was Rotarians. So just a really big thank you from her. Next slide. Just want to thank a couple other people before we kick into our first recipient. The committee, the team. We have a power of 10. If you're sitting around saying, I do nothing in Rotary, come hang out with us. It is a really, really great time. Our next, we have one more by the end of the year to be in April. If you'd like to join that committee, which is very exciting, let me know. But so number one, the committee, I also want to thank David Darlington, who will be coming up in just a couple minutes. He'll come up on the third award, who's our partner with Livermore Valley Education Fund. And then third, I would like to thank the AV team that made all these slides and just appreciate you guys so much, Paul, everybody. So thank you. And finally, again, Melissa, and just so you know, there were 3 awards that she picked up. The superintendent herself picked up 3 awards, so they're not reflective here, but it was so nice to sit with her in the meeting to go through all these and have her opinion and thoughts. And so she really helped guide. And the last thing is, I mean, we had a power group of agreement. Every one of these is just so nifty. Kelly Peters had an interesting thing. She says, hey, how about news about the club? There is no better way that I can think of for us to say, hey, let's take some donations that we've gotten through different resources and plug it into this group. So great advertising for all of us. I really want to thank you. So our first award, and everybody's going to, Nadine, can you make your way up, please? So Nadine, as she's coming up, she also, where's your cool hat? Oh my gosh, well, come on up. It's no better thing to start off with Nadine Moore of Our Savior Lutheran. And she's going to talk a little bit about history publications. I've asked each one of these people to keep it about under 10 minutes. No, you literally
way under 10 minutes.
10 minutes. We will walk out of here at 1:30. No questions asked, but we're going to give it about a minute. But if just Nadine, thank you for being here. Go ahead.
Thank you so much to Roland and to the Rotary Club of Livermore for this phenomenal opportunity. As educators, we truly do appreciate it, and it makes such a tremendous difference in not just the school that I teach at, but the broader Livermore community. So as you can see over there, your very generous grant is going to be funding history publication subscriptions. And this essentially relates to historical source analysis, which is an essential skill that we start teaching in 6th and 7th grade. And it continues through 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, all the way through to college level, really, if students pursue it that far. It is essential in critical thinking and developing the foundations of applying strengths and weaknesses to sources. And really, it extends beyond historical primary source documentation to this information flood that we find our students in, so that they can actively, critically analyze the sources where they gather their information from and make informed decisions about whether or not that information is trustworthy. So thank you so much. The one box is World War II political cartoons. I'm really excited about this. I'll be sure to take photographs and send it on to Roland so that you can see your grant being put to good use. So Thank you so much.
Hey, Nadine, here you go. On behalf of the Rotary Club of Livermore, that is your check. And then at the end, we're gonna have all recipients come back up. So I've been ordered by somebody that takes pictures. I think his name's Alan, I don't know. But everybody's gonna get right in front here at the end and take one quick picture. Thank you, Nadine. All right, number 2. Oh, arson. I knew that. I'm gonna find myself $1 for every misspelling. And just so you know, it's totally my fault. Oh, Allison, thank you for being here. She's going to talk about CD players and Our Savior Lutheran. Go ahead.
So much. It is so much easier for me to talk to 5-year-olds, but I am so grateful to be here. I'm overwhelmed by your generosity. I told my students this morning, because I had to leave early to get here, and the jumping and the cheers and the excitement on their faces, they are so grateful. You've touched not only my heart, but theirs as well. My passion is teaching lifelong love of learning, specifically reading. And if we can tap into that when they're 5 and give them that love of books and reading and make it accessible, it carries through for the rest of their lives. So in my classroom, I have something called Daily 5, where there are 5 stations set up around the room to teach literacy skills, independence, and to meet a diverse set of learning needs. And one of the stations that I have not been able to provide yet is one called Listening to Reading. So this incredibly generous grant is going to provide a headphone set, CD players, read-along tapes or CDs and books so that the children can have the headphone set, listen to the book being read to them, and hold the physical book in their hands and point to the words. And for a 5-year-old who is still having bedtime stories read to them out loud, they're not quite yet independent, it creates such a multi-accessible, I'm running out of words. It creates such a unique environment for the students to access the information, especially with English language learners and children with special needs. So I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for your generosity. And I also would love to share pictures.
Oh,
so
thank you, Allison. Allison, here's your check. I have to say the next 15, I actually have the checks, thanks to so many of you that made this possible. But those checks I'm going to deliver down to the school district. I believe David Darlington's going to do the same. David, can you come on up? I want to introduce my new best friend. It used to be my wife, but now it's David. David brings a house. He is so cool. It's such a great partnership with Livermore Valley Education Foundation. So they contribute. We have 30,000 as a club, and they put up 12. We have 3 different times that we give out money. But David is an amazing co-chair with me, and I'm so grateful for him. And so he's gonna. But anyway, so let's go on to the next slide and have David.
Yeah, real quick, teachers, you actually have your funds already available. Some of you probably already know that. They go to the business office, just use your budget code. And I have sort of the fake check. So for some of you, it's really important your kids know that what you're doing. It's really important they know that you're out into the community reaching out. And so put it in your classroom, tell them about it and promote it because it's a good thing. That way you get future Rotary members as well.
I just want to say if there's any misspellings, the 3 through the 18, it's David's fault. And so we're going to find him $1. So David, the first one's Emily Schul. Come on up, Emily. And this is all around charms, tokens, and supporting student success.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me today. My name is Emily, and I'm actually a reading intervention teacher at Maryland Avenue. But this year we started a morning running club. So the students have an opportunity to come to school earlier and run on Mondays and Wednesdays. So we started the club this year, and on our first day, we had 60 kids show up, and it just continues to grow and grow. A lot of our students don't participate in sports outside of school, and they are getting really, really excited about this. And one way to incentivize them is they get a necklace, and for every mile they run, they get a little foot charm. So this program was in a lot of other schools in Livermore, sponsored by their PTO. But we don't have that resource really at Maryland. So we are starting it ourselves. So thank you so much. The kids love the necklaces, and I've run out of feet because it's been so popular. So we're going to buy more. So thank you.
I just want to mention a lot of you are thinking Roland should be with Emily every morning. So I'm ready. Okay, next slide.
Jennifer Bowman, Granada, kind of speaks for itself. Grad night can be really crazy for kids. Remember yours? Well, it's good to have fun and celebrate but you got to keep safe. And what these folks do is to keep kids safe, and I'll let them talk about it.
Sorry, I have that one. Thank you very much for this grant. Safe and Sober Grad Night is enormously expensive. It takes a lot of money in order to keep 400 plus students entertained and wanting to come to our party instead of the other options that they might have. So this $900 is going directly to a roaming magician in order to keep the kids entertained, I guess, while they're standing in line, waiting for food, all of the other things. So this is, I know you call it a mini grant, but for this, it's not mini. It's extremely helpful to us. So thank you very much. You could talk about the activities.
Yeah, so my name is Krista Mimula, and I'm in charge of the activities for Safe and Sober Grad Night. And along with the magician, we have a zip line coming. We have huge inflatable things that the kids can go on and battle each other. We've got a big casino that's going to be set up in the gym. And we've got a big favorite of the kids year after year is toilet bowls that turn into racers. And they get to race them around and kind of bounce into each other and stuff. So thank you so much for your generous donation. It will really help in us providing this night for the kids that hopefully is safe and sober. So
fantastic. Thank you guys. Thank you very much.
Can the robot guy come up here? Is he here today? Oh, there he is. Okay.
He gets a minute, 15
he's just the robot guy because he knows more about this stuff than anyone in the room probably.
All right. My name's Kenan Willis, and I teach robotics and also computer programming at Granada High School. So I've taught programming for 7 or 8 years. And then Don Danner, does anyone know Don Danner? He's kind of pseudo retired. He taught robotics. So 2 years ago, he said, do you want to pick it up? I said, yeah, it sounds like fun. I'm a big learning curve. There's all these competitions for VEX robotics. And the first year, which was last year, I taught the course. I was a little, had a little anxiety going these, competitions. So this year we paid for one team to go to a competition. And actually, I think my students right now are building. A couple of students built this. We call this one the Clawbot. We were driving around in the back. I'm going to put this down here. But we have robotics A had 32 students. Robotics B has 24. And so we have teams of 2 and 3 right now building for the competition. And most of this money is going to go to the game elements, which this year for VEX, it's called Spin Up. So imagine robots throwing frisbees. I should have brought a little, they're the yellow disc into a basket, kind of like frisbee golf. And there's 2 competing teams. So my class, once I get these game elements, their robots are going to compete against each other. And then the winning team is going to go to the actual competition later in February. So I think Roland, I know I talked to you on the phone earlier.
Oh my gosh, this guy, one of the few that called me, and I said, gosh, you're in. There's no way that we're going to turn you down because this is so cool. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Gwen Olness from East Avenue. There you are. Come on up.
While she's coming up, I have to mention something. I was, come on up, please. 16, I go, what is that? I need to go back to school. This is one of the coolest things just for our students. I'm so excited our club with LVEF was able to match and come up with the award. So.
Thank you. My name is Inga Toll. I'm a teacher at East Avenue. And I'm representing Gwen Olness. So the first time I was here was a few months ago, getting a grant for the water rocket launcher. I think you guys remember that. I just got it yesterday. Finally, it was on back order. So I will modify it with the help of Mr. Donovan to air compressor. And then I will remember to invite you when we do the launch in a few months, so you guys can see it. So thank you for the grant for the triple beam balances. We're trying to have our groups become smaller, so the kids actually do more hands-on understanding, either individually or with the group. So Dr. Olness, Gwen Olness, wrote a little speech. It's about 6 minutes long. I'll make it right.
30 seconds.
So she said, thank you for inviting me to lunch and for awarding a grant to science teachers at East Avenue. We plan to purchase triple beam balances that we will use to develop our students' measuring skills. We have recognized that students need many opportunities to practice individually or in pairs in order to master measuring skills, which are essential for understanding concepts like mass and density, as well as for conducting science experiments, which we do all year long. Currently, we have a limited number of measuring tools, and this has limited our students' access to them. With the help of this grant, we will be able to provide enough balances so that all the students at East will have many opportunities to master some of the basic skills needed to be successful in science. So thank you.
Outstanding, outstanding.
Emily? Nope. I don't know about this one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This is being funded. The district is
Levin,
doing this
come
one.
on up. I have to say, we were talking before. Number one, I'm a huge band geek and I played in high school. I thought I was pretty good until I found out how terrible I actually was. I never actually made a musician, but he actually taught at my alma mater at Carlmont High School. So I was so impressed. He knows my old band teacher, Rich Bice. What a difference it made in my life personally to have music as a foundation. So anyway, let me go ahead.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Levin Smart. I'm at Junction Avenue School. I do the middle school music program there. I teach band, orchestra, choir, and ukulele. I think that's all of it. But what this grant is we are taking our band and orchestra to a festival that's being hosted by Livermore High School's band and orchestra teacher, Justin Enright. It's in March. And basically what that festival is we have to prepare our music at the highest possible level, and then we play it in front of judges. And these are the best music educators in the larger area, Bay Area. And then they grade us. It's not competitive like first place, second place, third place. They have a rubric, and we're graded on a rubric, and then they tell us how good we are. And then what's really cool is that they give us written comments and audio comments, so that way we can then learn from that experience and get better. In addition to that, after we perform, we go into another room, and one of those judges comes with us and works with us for about 40 minutes, like really hands-on, in-depth, detailed work on how to improve as musicians. And we didn't get a chance to do that for a couple of years now, for obvious reasons. So this is our first chance since 2019, because our 2020 festival got canceled. So I'm really excited about this. And the last time I did this, those kids are now juniors and seniors in high school. And so I just want to say thank you for helping pay for the fees that are necessary to attend this festival. It's run by CMEA, which is California Music Educators Association, which is I'm part of the Bay Area chapter. There's a state chapter, and then that's within the national umbrella. So I really appreciate that.
Thank you. Hey, before you go, a show of hands. How many of you play an instrument just right now? How many of you played in a band in any grade level? Oh, there we go. All right. We love you. Thank you. Thank you.
Can I say one thing?
Yes.
I want to say thank you to LEF as well, because every year they donate an enormous amount of money to the music programs here in Livermore. And the last 2 years, they have gone above and beyond. And we could not be doing what we are doing at a district level or at Junction without David and LBF support. So I just want to thank you.
Amen. Great stuff. Thank you.
Yeah, they came with us. Musical instruments don't last forever. They need strings and all those things. And so last year we were able to donate $70,000 because the needs were great. And this was at every school, whether it's band, orchestra, or choir. And I know there's another list this year, and we're looking at it again. So Emily Mickelson from Arroyo Seco.
Here comes Emily. How many of you kindergarten? How many of you remember? How many of you graduated? Some of you didn't. I gotta tell you, kindergarten is so foundational. It was for me. That's what it made me today. So here we go, Emily.
Thank you. Actually, I'm Valerie Nebo. I'm the proud principal at Arroyo Seco. I actually gave Emily Michelson the option to either have me cover her class for her or attend. She wisely chose to send me here since my background in teaching is actually high school. So probably a good choice for her. This money that is being so generously donated to Arroyo Seco is going to go directly to her classroom to purchase iPads. The kindergarten teachers at Arroyo Seco, Emily included, do make regular use of centers, especially for both math and science instruction. This allows Emily and her colleagues as well to be able to really target instruction in small groups for students, pairing them based on areas of strengths and weaknesses so that students have opportunities not only to learn from the teacher independently, but to learn from each other. The iPads complement that obviously through their I guess, intuitive ability for students to use. Anybody who has seen a toddler with an iPad in hand knows that they can figure out how to operate these things, but there's a difference between that and actual digital literacy and understanding how you can use these as a learning tool. So starting in kindergarten, that's exactly what students are doing. And these funds will go directly to supporting that, allowing students to engage in various instructional activities and be able to work both independently and with their classmates to further their learning in math and science. So thank you so much.
Outstanding. Thank you.
A very familiar face, Deborah Morris from Croce. I think she's a pseudo Rotary member at this point.
At this point, you know, the Rotary and LVEF has been so instrumental in my 20 plus years in Livermore as a teacher, because almost every perk, every extra, every loved thing by my students comes from some grant I've received or started from a grant or I built it, and you guys have supported us so much. It's incredible. And this is probably the most boringest thing I've ever asked for. I mean, it's a color printer, and shockingly, not every school has color printers. Not every teacher is allowed a color printer. They're based on the school site's funding. So if your school doesn't have funding, they may just have one color printer for the entire staff to use. My last grant from you guys was some STEAM items, some hands-on activities for my students to use. And I kept printing them on black and white. They all looked like black smudges, and it was not exciting. And the kids would run around. They're like, what is this? What am I doing? And I was like, oh, okay. So then I brought a color printer from home, which I usually spend about $500 a year on ink for that. And so I thought this year I'm going to ask for just a boring color printer, and I'm going to redo everything and get it all in print and all in color and laminated for them, and they're going to love it. So I told them today was coming, and they're very excited to not have black smudges anymore and to see what shapes of things are. So I want to thank you so much for supporting not only this one, but I could list all the things, but all 20 years that I've been here and helping my classroom and all of my students who are now, I think the last class is probably in college already. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Hey, just a quick commercial break before we go to the next slide, or David announced the next winner. A lot of you are teachers in here. We have a principal. Just know this, you're the front line. We have, between David's organization and our Rotary Club, about $18,000 on the last grant cycle coming up. Talk to your teacher neighbors and find out what they need. Be an advocate for coming to us. And this last time we had over 25 requests. We funded most everyone. So just as a word of aside, go ahead, David.
Jen, since we're at Croce School, here's another Croce.
This is cool. How many of you like gardening? Man, not me, but this is so cool for other people to do. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Jen. Thank you, Rotary Club. Thank you, LVEF. Thank you to Michael Ferrucci for the support. I'm a parent volunteer, and we have a school garden that's run by Pam Ferrucci and a ton of volunteers. The kids get to come in about every 2 weeks, and they get to take something from the seed all the way up to, you know, a carrot, lettuce, and they actually get to taste it in the garden. So a few weeks ago, we made marinated or pickled onions, and most of the kids tried it. And for a kid to have a raw onion and enjoy it, that's a really big deal.
So we actually have compost boxes that the kids help us turn. We have all kinds of different activities. We just have a dirt pile because sometimes the kid just needs to sit there and dig for half an hour. We have all of the levels coming in and they do a variety of different things. This is going to be really instrumental because we need new gloves, we need new tools, lots of seeds. And hopefully in the future, our vision of this is going to be an outside classroom. So any of the teachers can bring their students to the garden at any time and they can sit and read, do a project, enjoy the outdoors. So thank you so much for your generosity.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you.
Also from Croce, Christina Wooten. A familiar face for many of you up here as well.
Hello, thank you so much. Hopefully mine is short and sweet. I didn't prepare nearly as much and I won't take questions at the end. So this is a grant for STEAM bins for my first graders at Croce. And so for those of you who don't know, STEAM is science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And so I'm getting a lot of different things, puzzles, magnetiles, just building supplies, some art supplies, and I plan on creating these bins for the students to use when they come into the classroom in the morning to have hands-on manipulatives and practice and work on cooperation skills and problem solving and just have a kind of a really nice, start to the day and allow me some time to take attendance and just do those kind of business things that we have to do in the morning. So Mrs. Morris or Deborah, see, I'm so used to, Deborah got some earlier this year and she's like, her kids absolutely love them. My students, I told them about coming here and they are so excited and they can't wait for those materials to come. So thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you, Christina. Here's the next test. How many knew what STEAM? How many knew what STEAM was before this meeting? I did not. I had no idea. I just put it on there. So good job.
From Lawrence Elementary, home of the Labradors, Christina Carroll.
No, Amy.
Oh,
this is super cool too. Watch out. We talked about this
I'm
forever.
sorry, Croce. Yeah, it's from Amy Jackson. Wobble stools. Some of you guys probably need one.
Take it off. Thank you. So my name is Amy Jackson and I teach first grade at Croce. And as much as I try to have the students do a little sitting at their desks and move to the carpet and get some movement in, sitting in a chair that's hard can be very uncomfortable for 6-year-olds. And so your grant money is going to help me get a start on furnishing my whole classroom with wobbly stools. So I'll be able to purchase 11 of them. That'll be for half my class, but they're basically just a little stool. There's no back to them. And the bottom is just kind of curved so the kids can just gently rock back and forth and get a little movement side to side. We have them at our small group table. The kids absolutely love them. They are safer for students too, because oftentimes you'll walk in our classroom, you'll see kids tilting back in the chair. And so this way they can get that little bit of wiggle and movement. And a lot of research has shown that, you can focus for about 1 minute per your age. So for a 6-year-old, that's about 6 minutes. And then a little bit of movement can help you refocus and get back to their learning. So they're super excited. I also told them that I would be coming and that you guys are helping our classroom to get these stools. So thank you so very, very much. I greatly appreciate the generosity of your club and from the Livermore Valley Education Advisory.
Outstanding, outstanding. Christina. Wooten. Well, let me just say that she is excited to receive a teaching easel. She needed one. We got it for her. Yay. All right, next slide. Jenny Peterson, are you online, Jenny? Is there somebody here? Because I could speak to this as well. Jenny Peterson, this is child welfare and attendance. This group's cooks. And so my organization, Tri-Valley Seek and Save, that's one of our partners. And they come in contact with so many people, mostly moms with kids in great need. So they're the frontline battlefield for Livermore education. And what they do is they bring in other resources. This allows them to have $1,000 of their own resources. So they could take kids to buy clothes and those types of things. It's a great need. Super effective for our Livermore tenants. Go
And
ahead.
I'll add to that, not only clothes, but they have to be laundered. Not
Yeah,
everybody
amen.
has that. So it actually provides laundromat cards and bus fare, the things that we have and we take it for granted. And these kids deserve to have clean clothes and places to be able to go there. So that's what this is all about.
Yep. Okay, is that the last? Oh, that's the last. I want to thank again, David. I want to thank his organization, his group. I mean, it's so awesome to spend other people's money, or no, it's so awesome to be in partnership
Great to
together.
give money
Just
away,
allows
too.
us to be powerful. So David, thank you.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, come on up, Christina from Lawrence.
Thank you. Okay. All right. I was so excited to receive this grant. I've been wanting a teaching easel for so long. I told my students today, we sat down, I told them where I was going. I was getting a teaching easel. They were like our kindergarten teacher, Miss Pearson. I'm like, yeah, it's like that one. And one of my students who's very outgoing said, it's about time you got with the program. So getting with the program and getting my teaching easel. Thank you very much. I'm going to be able to use it for carpet time when we make anchor charts. I can attach paper to it. It has a magnetized whiteboard on it. And then on the reverse side, it has a whiteboard on it with lines that I can model proper handwriting, which is really difficult for a first grader. And it has locking casters. So what I'm really excited about is when the weather is nice, I can take it outside and teach outside. So
Amen.
Thank you very much. I'm forever grateful.
Yay, Dave, we got everybody. Okay. All right. So we're going to call up a couple at a time, but first is going to be, we have 10 minutes left. We have 8 speakers. Dale, you got to keep it down in a minute. Where's Dale? My brother. Lisa. No, that's not one left. We have 8 left. We have 8 left. Coming up right now, I'd like to introduce Lisa. Come on up, Lisa. I have to say it's so fun we have 8 left and about a minute left on each one. So go ahead, Lisa.
Hi, my name is actually Lindsay Schmeltzer. I'm the education director at Spark Theater. I'm here on behalf of Lisa Tromovich, who is right now on an airplane coming back from the Bahamas after being on a 2-week Shakespeare intensive. So we all feel very sad for Lisa right now. This funding is going towards Spark, who used to be called Livermore Shakespeare Festival, expanding into doing more modern plays, more modern plays, and also adding music into our repertoire. For those of you who were at our festival this last season, we had a cabaret where our college apprentice actors that are just on the verge of becoming professionals, put on a cabaret night where we picnic under the stars at Darcy Kent. We drink wine, we sing a bunch of songs, but it turns out in the rehearsal room that 6 college actors can outsing a keyboard. So this funding is going straight into our sound system and microphones and all of that stuff. It's just going to amp up our outdoor festival. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Dale, sorry, it'll be a few minutes. I apologize. I got ahead of myself. Right now, we'd like to ask Jackie to come forward, please. I know, one of the things I have to say, we're a direct beneficiary of Jackie and her exuberance to serve and help those in great need. And one of the things that happens is people think I got a car, like life gets around, but her organization moves people from one location to the other that do not have vehicles. She's an amazing woman that has a heart for those in great need. Go ahead, Jackie.
Thank you. Wow. Hi, everybody. Most of you have heard me talk multiple times. So basically, this grant will actually purchase 266 24-hour wheels bus passes, which is fabulous. These are going to social service organizations such as Open Heart Kitchen, Tri-Valley Haven, lots of organizations in our community who in turn distribute them to our unhoused neighbors, our working poor, others who are really struggling financially, have no way to get to the services, have no way to get to job interviews, go to get medical care, et cetera, et cetera. It's a wonderful service, and thank you so much for supporting it.
Thank you, Jackie. I don't know. So that's another $1 to that dum-dum that put that up there. Thank you, Jackie. What's the next slide? Alan. Is Alan here? He is. Hi, Alan.
1 minute.
Oh, he's got like a 5-minute speech here.
Well, you probably know Del Val Fine Arts, I hope. We present five classical chamber music concerts a year in the Bankhead Theater. And as part of that, we do school outreach with at least 2 of those groups. And this generous grant goes to support a particular one of those. That's the Dover String Quartet coming up on the 3rd of February. Let's see how to make this 1 minute. We're trying hard to get to 4th and 5th grade level because that's where it starts for instrumental music in school. And the district has been supportive. They're hiring really great young teachers, a couple of elementary school level instrumental music teachers that are making a difference. This is how middle school and high school programs thrive, is they have a starter in the elementaries. And just a quick example of how it works sometimes, at least. I spoke with Kathy Boster at East Avenue Middle School yesterday. And she had a couple of examples. We've done one of these outreaches this year, Wind Sync and Wind Quintet Ensemble. And she mentioned that one of her students was extremely excited to hear them because they had never heard an oboe played live in public. And that's one of the components of a wind quintet. And in fact, this young man is studying the oboe at this point. She mentioned another one. She's in her complement of school-owned instruments that she can hand out at the beginning of each year. She had a bassoon, which nobody claimed. And then after this wind-sync performance, she got an immediate buyer for that instrument.
Oh, that's great, Alan. Alan, how will the money be used for as you're doing a chamber music coming up, one of the concerts?
The money, how it will be used is that it will pay for having the Dover String Quartet, which is a very expensive group, by the way, because they're so good. They're an internationally known group. They're young, they're energetic, and they're just fantastic musicians.
Well, Alan, I gotta say thank you. Thank you very much. And we so appreciate you. This one is for you. So thank you,
Thank
Alan.
you.
All right.
Roland.
Yep. Finally, we have Dale. Dale. Hey, just so you know, the president said that clock is 5 minutes fast. Are you sure about that? No, he's not. All right. Go ahead, Dale. You got. Oh, no, it's perfect. Gas cards.
Good afternoon. I'm Dale Walters. I am the Chief Financial Officer, Chief Operations Officer, Treasurer, Outreach Coordinator, Head Chef, Chief Bottle Washer, and I think janitor for Benefits for Fallen Heroes. What I'm not is the founder. That would be Bob Bishop, who is one of your Rotarian Club members. Bob brought me on as a veteran to really start driving this organization. The original founding concept of this was to.
Hey, Dale, we actually don't have the time. I am so sorry.
So
But
we're getting $750 for gas cards to get veterans to their doctor's appointments and that kind of stuff. Thank you.
All right, we're gonna do this rapid fire. Terry Milano, come on up. And I gave you the wrong check, just so you know. Light First Kingdom, come on up. And then One Nation Dream Makers. Ronnie's gonna round us out. So Terry, actually, I'll hit Scarlett first. Scarlett?
Hey, so thank you guys so much for having us here today. Very quickly, I'm Pastor Scarlett, the founder of Light First Kingdom Ministries. We're a transitional living home for women. The thing that makes our home different from other homes is that we focus on the inner healing for the woman. So when they come into the home, the very first thing we do is get to the core of what it is that caused them the pain and the suffering that brought them to our facility. As we're working with their inner healing, we're also helping them establish educational goals and job skill training, which is what we're going to be using the laptop for with the grant money. So we thank you very much from the bottom of our hearts. The women thank you, I thank you, and our board thanks you. God bless.
And we're also, there's a check. Terry, you're up. We're actually recruiting both of these two to join our Rotary Club. Go ahead, Terry.
Hi, thanks for having me this afternoon. We are receiving $1,000 towards gas cards as well. Partners for Change, Tri-Valley, we teach life skills to people experiencing poverty. Our vision is to eliminate poverty in the Tri-Valley. These cards are to honor the participants that come to class and their dedication to change in their lives. Thank you very much.
We have several, I'd actually say many families that take advantage of that. Terry, thank you. Ronnie Forbes, bring it down the house. Here we go. This is going to close our time.
And it's going to be real short and sweet. You all know that I'm the executive director of One Nation Dream Makers, from the food hub to now the Changing Lives Warming Center in Livermore. We have been blessed to be able to open up a warming center at the Veterans Hall to help facilitate the unhoused, to get them in there and to show them a new way of life. So this laptop, the money for the laptop was going to help with the infrastructure on how to help with the upgrade of our Wi-Fi we just had and the cameras, thanks to Roland and his crew for putting those in so that we can do more. I'm not an I dotter and a T crosser, but I have one that is.
Amen. Thank you, Ronnie. And so just as the president's coming up to close us out, I just want to say, Mary Ann Rocha, holy smokes, look at the training she's given me. I just have to say, I'm so thankful for an incredible co-chair in her and her blessing to me. Go ahead.
Everybody needs to come back up to the picture. Okay, so we want everybody to come back up, but I'll close the meeting. And wasn't this the best damn 95 minutes of your week?